Woo! Last section of chapter 4. So we're in point 8, and it's the divisions of polynomials. These will go a little bit faster than you think. These are kind of my favorites to do, believe it or not. So let's look at the divisions of polynomials. Again, you know how to divide coefficients, numbers, and we have practiced dividing variables with exponents too. You just take the smallest to the largest and subtract, and that's not going to change. So 4 goes into 12 3 times. Whoops, I forgot to stop my thing. So 4 goes into 12 3 times. So x would go up here. So 2 minus 1 is simply just going to be 3x. When you look at b, you have x raised to the 12th power over 6 raised to the x to the 3rd. You can't do anything about that 6, but you can do something about the x's. So I'm just going to take 3 to 12 and subtract, so I get x to the 9th over 6th. How many times will negative 6 go into 54? Very good, negative 9 times. I'm going to take the 2 to the 3 and I'm going to subtract, so that just gives me a, and then I'm going to take the 3 to the 6th and that just gives me b3. See, I told you these would go a little fast. Now this one says to divide this whole polynomial by 6x. So all I do is I go up under here and I write a 6x under each term, and I take each term individually. So x raised to the 5th over 6x. You can't do anything about the 6, but you can take the x1 to the 5 and subtract, so you get x to the 4th over 6. 6 goes into 24 4 times. 4x being divided by x is simply just x to the 3rd. And then 6 goes into 12 2 times, and that's negative. And then x to the 3rd being divided by x is simply just x squared, and you're finished. The same idea when you have the divided, you just go in and you drop this under each one. This time it's a negative a squared b. So I'm going to take a second and write it under each one. And then we just do our division. So negative 7 goes into 21. How many times? Negative 3 times. 5 minus 2 is going to be a to the 3rd. 4 minus 1 is going to be b to the 3rd. And then a negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive. So 7 goes into 14 2 times. 3 minus 2 gives us 1, so that's our a. And then 2 minus 1 gives us our b. Now you have to be careful when you have a positive being divided by a negative. You should wind up with a negative, and it's a negative 1. Our a's disappear. They completely cancel out, and so does the b. But you can't forget that it's simply a negative 1 there. Okay, so be very, very careful about that. So to divide a polynomial by a monomial, you divide each term by the monomial. So that's something that we've got to look at. It's called long division. What about putting everything in order? The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I have all my numbers. X squared, x to the 1st, and then 0. I do. So you're going to write this the long way. So you're going to have x plus 3 goes into x squared plus 7x plus 12. What do I have to multiply this x by to get it to look like that x? Very good. Simply just an x. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is a 3x. Now, you're going to change the sign of everything in here. Alright, we're going to change the sign because the whole goal is to make this term drop out. So now you have 7x minus 3x. That gives you 4x. And just like long division, you bring down the next number. Keep the sign with it. Now, what do you multiply this x by to make it look exactly like this x? Very good, a 4. So we're going to say we're going to multiply by a positive 4. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 3 is 12. Again, you change everybody's sign. that becomes minus, and that gives us a remainder of 0. And if you were to foil that back together, it would work. Alright, here's another one. We're going to rewrite it. We're going to get 3x minus 2 goes into 15x squared. Good, we have all of our variables represented. And now we're just going to do the same thing. So 3x, to get it to like 15x squared, we're going to multiply by 5x. So it gives us 15x squared minus 10x. We're going to go in and change the signs of each one of those to make this go away. So negative 22x plus 10x is going to give us a negative 12x, and we're going to bring down the 14 and its sign. I almost forgot, didn't I? So when you get done with this, you look at 3x and negative 12x, so I'm going to multiply by negative 4. So it gives me a negative 12x plus 8. Going to change their signs. So it makes this go away. So positive 14, I know a little sloppy, minus 8 is going to give us 6. And instead of writing it like you used to with an r as a remainder, you're going to write it as a fraction. So it's going to be 6 over 3x minus 2. And that's your final answer. This ends chapter 4. So this was the last one in 4.8, so we are good. So good luck, and I hope things are going well. If you need anything, just let me know.